First place, Alyssa Jaden Fury, My Trip to Paris. You read some of your poem, or your story.
My trip to Paris. Last summer, I took a plane to Paris. My family went with me. On the plane, I sat between my mom and a man who spoke in a funny accent. We slept on the plane and woke up in a new country. We stayed in a very small apartment, right near bakeries and restaurants and stores. Our apartment was also close to Notre Dame. We walked there our first day in Paris. Notre Dame was so big, and I was a little scared of the gargoyles on top of the church. We walked past Notre Dame almost every day, and I was always looking up to make sure the gargoyles weren't coming down to get me. My mom tried to teach me some French before our trip, but the only words I remember were "Comment t'appelles-tu" and "Je m'appelle" and "au revoir." It was confusing not to be able to understand what people were saying, but when I heard them say the few words I knew, I smiled. We went to lots of museums in Paris, but my favorite was the Louvre. The Louvre was shaped like a silver pyramid, and you went underground to see the paintings and statues. We did a treasure hunt there with a tour guide who was from Missouri, like my mom. We also spent some time in the Holocaust Museum in Paris. It made me very sad to see the pictures of the Jewish children who died in the Holocaust. Finally, on our third day in Paris, we saw the Eiffel Tower. I kept asking my family when we were going to see the Eiffel Tower, but they teased me about that. They would show me little plastic Eiffel Towers in the shops and tell me that now I had seen the Eiffel Tower. The real Eiffel Tower was bigger than I thought it would be. We climbed halfway up, and it was scary because even though there were railings all around us, we were climbing on the outside of the tower. I bought my first souvenir that day, a purple mini Eiffel Tower. It was small, but I treated it like a treasure. My family and I spent lots of time looking in the windows of bakeries in Paris. The treats looked so colorful and tasty. One night, my dad finally let us go into one of the bakeries and pick out lots of fancy desserts. We walked home as fast as we could because we couldn't wait to eat our delicious treats. When I asked my dad if we had to wait until after dinner to eat the treats, he said, "No, this is dinner." We split each dessert into 5 slices and gave everyone a piece. I never imagined my dad would let us eat dessert for dinner. It was delicious. One of my favorite memories of Paris was not planned. When we walked out of the subway, we saw 3 men breakdancing. We watched them and clapped, and they asked my sister and me to join them. It was so fun dancing while lots of people watched and cheered. One of my most difficult adventures of our trip was a bike ride we took in Versailles. We rode with a group of people led by a guide, and my sister and brother and I were the only kids. In the middle of the bike ride, we stopped to have a picnic at a lake in front of the palace. A big swan came up and bit my foot. It was a good thing I was wearing shoes. But the hard part was the bike ride. I started off doing so well, keeping up with the grown-ups, but by the end of the day, I was too tired. My mom had to keep stopping to help me. I made it through, and I was so proud of myself. Being in a different country is a little scary, but I loved my trip to Paris.